Welcome to Court Cousins. Two cousins sharing laughs and talking the team they love, the Orlando Magic. Let's get into it.
All right, up next, we're going to play a game for you English lovers out there, for you wordsmiths, for you Shakespeare's. We're going to play a little fill in the blank. This is a favorite game on sports talk radio shows. So we're going to try our hand at it. And it's
I also really enjoy a good Mad Lib, and I feel like this is sort of
yeah. This is like your wet dream if you're a Mad Lib guy. Here you go. So it's just how it sounds, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to say some statements, but there'll be a blank in the middle or somewhere in there. And myself and Peesh will have to fill in the blank. So I'll toss this one to you, Peesh. It was a blank decision to sign Etuan Moore.
I'm gonna say peculiar. I know we discussed it a little between ourselves, or maybe on an early show we didn't release, but it seems odd. Seems like we've got a lot of guards. Don't know why you're bringing him in. I don't know where he's gonna fit. That could be said for a lot of our guards, honestly. At some point, some people are gonna have to go down to Lakeland or something because there's too many guards, not enough playing time. I get that he's familiar with the area and the team. I think they brought him in for a veteran presence, which could be helpful. But as far as being helpful in the actual court, I don't really see it. I guess if you had money laying around and you had a spot to fill, okay, but it didn't seem necessary to me. So I'm gonna say peculiar. What word are you throwing in?
I agree with you, Peesh. I thought we needed more depth at the 3, someone who at least had some length for a 3-4 position. But I'm going to say it was a practice court decision to sign Etuan Moore, because I just think that the thinking from Jeff Weltman and the administration for our team is, let's bring in a guy who can help Jalen Suggs compete, who can help RJ Hampton and Cole Anthony compete. And maybe Etuan Moore. I mean, I was not heartened by what we've seen from Etuan Moore. You said it best when you said in some of these preseason games, we don't need Etuan Moore right now. We need Etuan less. He is not playing well. He looked confused and lost. And as a veteran player, I thought he would bring some consistency and some calmness, and he seems so far to have brought the opposite. I'm not saying that's going to happen all season, but I was definitely surprised, and I'm just hoping that Weltman and the front office are thinking, even if it's one skill or one guard trait that he can elucidate or teach to RJ, Cole, and Jalen, that is one more skill that they didn't have before that they're going to have moving on. If we're banking our franchise and betting our franchise right now on guard play, instead of bringing in a wing, let's bring in another guard who can help tutor them up, along with MCW, along with Gary Harris, along with Terrence Ross. So it's kind of with Markelle Fultz even, this is kind of teaching by assembly. There's a bunch of veteran guards here to kind of uplift our young guys, and I'm hoping that that's what will happen.
All right. I mean, we were looking for an adjective in this blank, and you hit us with a noun. So I just want to say, from a part of speech way, that something's missing there. But then you dropped a big word nobody knew and had to Google. Yeah. So I think you kind of made up for it.
Well, how you going English teacher on me? You're talking about parts of speech. I'm the one that's supposed to be the stickler.
Hey, my mom corrected my speech a lot of the times growing up too, so I've been there. I've done that. I have some college when I fill out my form, and most of those classes were English classes. So let's go, buddy. Let me hit you up with the next one.
Okay.
Blank's right at the beginning on this one. Blank should be the starting center for the Magic now, going into the season.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to go with the easy one. It's going to be Wendell Carter. I think that he's just more even in his play. Although Mo is not far behind for me, ladies and gentlemen. I really like, minus the second game where he fouled out in, I think, 12 minutes of play. that takes skill to do. I'm still not quite sure how he pulled that, but he did it. his third game was really solid, and he had a hot fourth quarter. He had a really nice stat line, but I am just seeing the little things out of Mo. And what I'm talking about is just that booking it, hustle back down the court that we didn't really see, hustling in and out of the game that we didn't really see before. And he's going straight up and down with his defense. So many times what frustrated me most with Mo is he'd get out of position or something, and then he'd kind of lunge at a shooter and bite on a fake and just get in foul trouble constantly. But he's been doing a much better job going vertical, and I don't think he's far behind. I don't know how this turned into a Mo Bamba question when my answer to this was Wendell Carter is going to be the starting center on day one.
All right. Well, I'm also going to put the same name in the blank here because I'm hitting you from a different direction that I don't think is going to be a real shock to any Magic fans who have watched some of these first few games. But I want Mo at the 4, and I want Wendell at 5, and I want them both playing together. You were just talking about his defense, but I saw a couple of things in the Spurs highlights and in some of the other games where he if he's playing a center that can stretch the floor, he doesn't really get up on him for that shot. He kind of lets them shoot from out there. He needs to get in on that a little more because he's going to run into centers that are going to stretch that floor. Interior, I feel like he's good and he's going to get things done in there. And I like what I've seen Mo from a Rashard Lewis-y standpoint of I can stretch the floor, I can shoot, I can make a basket. So yeah, I got to go with Carter here, mostly because I feel like I want to see Mo and Carter in there right now. I think that's best for business.
Yeah, that's the starting lineup that they trotted out there for the Spurs game, and it did work pretty well. There was a lot of length out there, but you just got to wonder what's going to happen when J.I. comes back, hopefully healthy.
I mean, you mentioned Mo fouling out. I think that referee was from Oklahoma, and they were getting ready for the Red River Shootout. And he was just like, "Hey, man, I'm just going to put 6 on this guy. But hey, you get 6, you might as well use him. It's the preseason. You got to practice fouling too. I'm okay with it."
All right, I'll throw the next one to you. Cole Anthony, and this one is I already know where I'm going with this one. Cole Anthony's moments where he goes rogue make me feel blank.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to respectfully pass my time to you here at the beginning. I would like to go second on this one. I know this is a hot button issue for you, so I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Oh my God, man. We had such a good time. We've been watching the games together, and that's been a lot of fun, just riffing and talking about what's going on the screen. And a number of times when Cole just starts kind of pounding the ball into the parquet floor and just eats it, kind of becomes a little bit of a vortex or goes a little bit crazy down into the lane into the tall trees, and I'm pulling my hair out. What is he doing? Or he's stepping back into this crazy deep 3-point shot. He plays in this way that has so much energy and passion, which is something I love about Cole. I mean, he is a great guy on the team. But, his first season, he wasn't super efficient from the floor. And you see these kind of erratic movements. But, Peach, so I will say Cole Anthony's moments where he goes rogue make me feel spasmodic. I feel like this is okay, look it up, kids, in the Google machine. Spasmodic. It's one of my favorite words from one of my favorite authors, Aldous Huxley. It means to like seize up or to go crazy, So he makes me feel that way, but he shut me up almost every single time. When I was feeling spasmodic, the 3 would go in or he'd go in and draw the foul. So you know what, Cole? Keep doing you, buddy. And I'm just going to sit back and watch.
All right. Well, spasmodic. That's probably where the term spaz came from, I'm guessing. But
There you
makes
go.
sense. For me, Cole Anthony's moments where he goes rogue, they make me feel alive. I love watching him dribble around and do manic stuff because, this isn't game 7 of the NBA finals. It's the preseason and eventually it's going to be the regular season. And yeah, more times than not, it kind of works out. So it's like, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you take a look at some of the stuff that Curry was doing when he was early on, you'd be like doing the same thing where you're like, oh, what's he doing? And he's like, oh, okay. Well, then eventually you're just like, oh yeah, you can throw it up from anywhere in the gym and we're totally fine with it. So it's like Cole Anthony doesn't have that level of respect yet, but you can get there. And that's kind of the way some of the guys in the NBA are going. Look at Trae Young. Some of these things are just like, you just take over and you make stuff happen. Eventually people want to crash on him. Then there's open men. I'm all for it. It makes me feel alive. I love watching him. He's a little spastic guy hanging around the court out there, but it's fun. His hair's flying all over the place. It's a good time.
Absolutely, man. I love that guy to death. Hope he stays for a while. So, Peach, by season's end, I will feel blank about this Orlando Magic season. Asking to project into the future here. Peach Stradamus.
Well, I'm gonna feel disappointed most likely, and I shouldn't, but I will, because my standards are high. So I feel like even if they do better than intended, I'm going to be disappointed with it. I mean, if you're a team that everybody automatically comes to town and thinks they're chalking up a win, which at this point we are, it's going to be disappointing. You're never going to look back at the season and long for this season. You're not going to be like, oh man, things back in 21-22, man, that was such a good season. Like that let's be honest, that's not going to happen. So therefore I gotta say disappointed, but mostly that's on me because I have a high standard.
I will play the other side of that coin, my friend. By season's end, I will feel optimistic about this Orlando Magic season, and it kind of makes sense. We're yin and yang a lot of times on this type of issue. You're the reality check and I'm the blind optimism. And I'm the guy who was excited about the big Baby Davis years. I'm the guy from the meme who every year was saying, this is Aaron Gordon's year. He's going to take the leap. That was me. Okay. So I'm going to be the guy at the end of this year that is saying, hey, the young guys are developing really well. Isaac and Fultz, fingers crossed, everything crossed, were healthy. And now they're going to be back at 100% start of next season. And we're getting a good draft pick. It's all coming together. We're gonna make the playoffs next year. That's gonna be me at the end of this year. That's just how I'm wired, Peach.
I get that, and as we talked about in our pilot episode, which may never air, I talked a little bit about smart market teams and where you're at, and there comes a point when you like those teams where you're sick of hearing that new slogan every year where it's like sky's the limit or watch us rise, and it's like at some point you have to actually rise and be there. And I think like Magic fans are getting to that point where it's like we'd like a good we need some good positivity and like a playoff run. Like not just making it because the East is bad, but like feeling like we could win a series. Like, at a certain point it gets old. I feel like we know we're rebuilding, and obviously there's always that, well, we're going to get a high draft pick. Some guys are going to come back from injury, but it feels like those have been the narratives of the last few seasons for the Magic. So it needs to be a different narrative going into next season. And if it's not, then the disappointment won't feel optimistic to me at all. I feel like I could be disappointed this season, but very much be optimistic going into next season, depending on how things fold out. I'm leaving some room.
It will definitely make for some interesting conversations at the end of the year. Me on one side, you on the other, and we'll see what comes out.
It's like when you order coffee and you ask for them to leave your room. I'm leaving some room there. Gonna maybe add some cream. It'll rise to the top. I'm not going to mix it in. I don't even like coffee. I don't know why I went with this reference. Moving on.
It's all right, Peach. We all make mistakes. And, when you make a mistake on this pod, we can go back and edit. But sometimes when you're writing, you make a mistake and you want to clear it up. That's why today is sponsored by Bix Whiteout. They're your friendly friend there when you make a mistake to just white it out and start over. Because life is all about new beginnings. Bic Whiteout.
Wow. What a sponsor. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they just started sponsoring.
Make sure your errors are privileged with Whiteout.
Yeah, you would have thought they wouldn't be interested in a digital show because, they're tactile, but they really love what we do. And, so everyone go out there, get your Bic Whiteout. 10% of all proceeds from Bic Whiteout go to this pod.
Ooh. I don't think you can make that claim. Is that white spelled W-I-T-E? Can we get a spell check on that?
Yeah, well, it's whiteout, not a spell checker. Here you go. Look at that stuff.
That seems like that's spelled incorrectly to me, but